Hey, this is Matt. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday night in the VC. Just wanted to respond to Robert Z's question on his video posted earlier tonight, whether to go with the Bob or the Betty Cup. And my answer to that is go with the Bob Cup. Robert, see ya. Good night. No, okay. Okay. Maybe a little more on that. Thought I was going to make the quickest video ever there, but what Robert had asked had to do with voting on whether to open a sealed album of his or not. And I guess the overall question is whether other people always open the albums they buy or whether they keep some of them sealed. And so in his case, I would definitely say go with the Bob Cup because he was asking about a specific record that's very rare, and plus it's easy enough to find a copy of that record, but that specific copy that he has is a very rare limited edition of said album. So um, I'm sure that he has he's I think he's got about 20 copies of every record he has from his videos, but I'm sure that he has other copies of that to enjoy and listen to. So I would keep it sealed in that case. Um, I didn't pull any out, but I've got several sealed albums. Um, Usually something where I've got another copy of it in some form or fashion. Almost always, not always, but almost always. So yeah, uh, sealed albums. Just real quick go through that. Record store day. That's always kind of a do you open it or not. Generally, I open them. Couple of exceptions. Back in the old days, I would go to the record stores when there were a lot more record stores around. They had import albums. I used to buy uh, when I was buying just anything and everything, Beatles, Rolling Stones, some other bands. So I don't have them anymore because I sold them back when I sold a lot of records a while back there, long time ago. Um, but yeah, I had quite a few Doors, Rolling Stones albums, a few Beatles albums that were imports that I got at different record stores just because they had a different cover or something, and I left those sealed because there wasn't anything song wise on it that I didn't have on the regular American albums or some other album. So there wasn't really any reason to unseal them, but I kept them sealed and I bought them just because, like I said, they'd have a cool cover of the band or cool artwork that wasn't available in America. I had a couple of French Doors Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2. Someone, I think it might have been Sun Dodger, I don't remember, showed a copy of that, had a copy of Volume 2. I had both of those and I no longer do. Kept them sealed because it was just greatest hits. Um, so, so, and record store day, I've opened most of what I got. There's a few things that I still have sealed. I bought the couple of couple of cycles ago. I bought the Introduction to Syd Barrett, I think it's called, and that is got double album. I think the first album is Pink Floyd, and the second album is selections of his solo work. I've got all that otherwise, so I never did open that. You could kind of argue that it's a waste of money to buy something you already have. What's the purpose? And you could probably have a point with that, but I enjoy having it, so sue me, whatever. It's just if you collect, you do silly things like that. So yeah, I mean, if I question is if I ran across something incredibly rare that was sealed, if I was at a garage sale and I found a First State Butcher cover that was still sealed and still had the Sears sticker on it for $2.98 or whatever albums cost in 1966. Of course, I'm not going to open that. But generally speaking, I'll open something unless it's something I already have. And I've got Sergeant Pepper on vinyl. If someone was to send me a sealed copy of Sergeant Pepper, would I open it? Probably just hold on to it in case my other one broke or wore out, I guess. So that's enough of that. But like I said, in your case, I vote the Bob Cup, which Bob Cup means keep it sealed. The Betty Cup means open it. What you've got there looks like a pretty rare deal, and I'm sure you got it, other copies of that. So keep it sealed, and your kids can sell it someday or whatever. I thought also I was going to make 2 videos because I haven't made one in a while. I've just been lazy and otherwise occupied, but I haven't got much lately. So I was going to make 2 videos, just a couple of records that I got recently to show, but I thought I'll just go ahead and make 1 video. So if you're only interested in the Robert Z, it's not really a contest, it's a question with a lot depending on it, because he either is or is not going to open that record. But if you're just interested in that, that's all I've got to say on that, so you can tune out now if you haven't already. This is the show you some stuff that I bought, or 2 things that I bought recently segment. So we will start with this that I got a couple of weeks ago in the mail. It is the Sly and the Family Stone Higher album box set. And this is, and I was also going to praise and complain in equal measure, I guess. Comes in a nice heavy box. That's a good thing. That's the inside of the top, and it is numbered. I got quit it. 48, 44 of, I don't know how many they made, so 48, 44 of 2 million, who knows. So it comes with 4 albums. Actually, it comes with 8 albums, I'm sorry. But first, you get a, it's also available on CD, you get a big book, LP size book, full of lots of great information and pictures, track by track breakdown. Sly and the Family Stone, one of the best bands ever in my opinion. So I was eagerly awaiting this when I heard that it was going to be released. And this is, a lot of it is had not been released before, and a lot of these are in different takes and mono versions of that had not been available, I don't think, since the 45s or the albums back in the 60s. And so it is good stuff. I'll show you one of the album covers. That, and on the back just has the track listing, because I took the albums out of that one, so let me set that aside. Show you the others real quick. They are album 2, album 3, and album 4. I think I had those out of, actually those are out of sequence, but those are the 4. Comes in 4 album covers. Each album has 2 records inside of it. And they come in these plastic sleeves, these pretty heavy duty plastic sleeves. The music is the most important thing, so we'll talk about that first. And I'm not going to go through a track by track listing, but it's got some cool stuff, because Sly Stone, as you know, he was a radio DJ before Sly and the Family Stone, and he also produced records and wrote some songs and performed on some records with, but he wrote songs for the Beau Brummels and several other people like that, and produced records for them. He had and there's 2 CDs. I don't think they ever came out on vinyl. Volume 1 came out, and then several years later, Volume 2 came out. That is Sly Stone productions of other records that records that he produced for other people. Some of them he appears on, I think, but some of them he's just the producer. Some of the songs he wrote, and he was also him and his brothers and sisters were in a gospel group in the 50s that those records probably be super rare. I don't know if you could even find those, but I don't know if those are on those 2 CD sets or not. But that stuff's not on here. But there is Just Learn to Swim and Scat Swim. I don't know if you can see that, but that's on side A, which is really weird because it's a typical 60s, but it's surf music. Kind of a Beach Boys, Jan and Dean sounding thing, but it's Sly Stone doing it, which you would not expect. But I like them both. They're great. I love those 2 songs. And then the rest of these, well, most of the rest of these are songs that you're familiar with. Uh, Dance to the Music, Underdog, Let Me Hear It From You, uh, you know, so, well, the Sly and the Family Stone hits, Stand. There's some live stuff, Everybody's a Star, Want to Take You Higher, Family Affair. And the music on the albums, this goes from, I guess, 64 up through about 75. So, mid 70s, Sly's music was, and Sly himself were starting to slip. So, the end of it, of the set, is actually better than I thought it would be, but it's not up to the standards of the 60s and the early 70s stuff. But it's still good stuff. And really, the first of the I keep, because there's 4 albums, but there's 4 sleeves, but there's 8 albums. But the first 6 or 7 albums is just one song after another, and it's just a 10 followed by a 10 followed by a 10. It's A+ stuff. I mean, I've listened to this several times all the way through, which takes a while with 8 albums. But I mean, it's just top classic. Can't go wrong. Um, and you still need to get his regular releases up through Fresh at least, because a lot of stuff on the regular albums isn't on here. Um, but this makes a good companion to those regular albums, and it's probably the best release of the year, even though it's old music, which old music is usually the best, I think. But anyway, can't go wrong. It's just A+. The very end, last album, the stuff from 74, 75. I think it might even go up to 76 or 7. Um, is is not as great, but it's better than I thought. They're better than I expected it to be. So the downside, I think, are putting 2 albums in one sleeve. I don't know why they couldn't have done a gatefold with done an gatefold album. And the sleeves are, don't know if you can see that, but they're pretty flimsy. I wish they would have used a little bit heavier cardboard stock on those for what I paid for these things, which was the vinyl, and this is available on CD too for about $50. But the vinyl set was listed, I want to say, at 240, $250, and I got it through, and I saw it on Amazon, and I thought, well, I don't know if I want to spend that much money. Probably would have anyway, but then it was listed. It came out in like the last week of August, I think, and so Amazon, the price went down, 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 because they always tend to lower the prices on things if you pre-order them before they're out, and it went down to like $135. So I thought, for 8 albums and in the box set with the book that I showed you there, I'll go ahead and do that. And it even went down a little further because I ordered it and they sent it, and then they said it had gone down even more, so they adjusted my credit card for like $6. So I guess it was like 135 or 128, something like that. But it's a great set. I wish they would have used heavier cardstock on the album sleeves, and I wish they would have done gatefolds instead of 2 albums in one sleeve. So there's that. The other thing I got is from Norton Records, and I don't know if anyone on here has ever ordered from Norton Records. I was not that was I looked at their site, uh, I don't know, a ton of times, and there's a lot of stuff on there I'd like to get. It's just one of those that I'd never gotten around to buying anything from them, because there's so many sites that I do buy things from, and then uh, local record stores on top of that. And so there were some things I wanted to get, and I finally ordered a couple of things off of there. And I'm going to show you one thing. The other thing I'm saving for a later video. Seems like I say that every video. Um, that's, I mean, if anybody's paying attention or cares, that's going to be a Christmas music video that I want to do. So I don't want to be showing that stuff now in the middle of September. Um, and I'm in Texas and it's still 100 degrees, so it just doesn't feel right to be getting into Christmas stuff just yet. But so I ordered a couple of records on, I want to say August 20th, August 21st, somewhere around there. And I got the email that, we've received your order. And then I think they sent an email a couple of days later, says the stuff is shipped, and it didn't show up. It didn't show up. So finally, I got busy with work and stuff and kind of lost track of time, but I realized it was like 2 weeks and it hadn't got here. So I emailed the company, and someone wrote back and said, well, that's shipped on August 30th. And by that time is, September 10th or so, and there's still nothing there. And so, I was about to email or call them back, and then Friday it showed up. So it took from roughly August 20th to September 13th to get there, which is a ridiculous amount of time for something it came from New Jersey. I mean, I've never had to wait that long for Amazon or YepRock or any of the numerous other places that sell records that I've ordered stuff on the web, so I wasn't too happy with the wait. Um, they sent it media mail, but I've had other stuff sent media mail, and it didn't take that long. But what I got, one of the two things I got, either the Pack Shangri-La's Redbird. Obviously, this isn't the original record. This is a repressing through Norton Records, and there's the back cover. So, and I didn't have any Shangri-La's on vinyl, so I wanted to get this. I've got, I should have brought it in. It's out in my car because I was listening to it not long ago, but I've got a CD that's got like 40 songs of the Shangri-La's. It's called Mirrodins and Melodramas, which is a great set, worth getting, even though I think it never came out on vinyl, unfortunately. It came out on CD, but the CD that I got is went out of print, and they released it, but it's got a slightly different track listing where they add a couple of songs that aren't on the one I have, and they drop a couple of songs that are on the one I have. So anyway, that's worth checking out because it's got almost everything they did, or close enough. And I really wish they're a band. I wish someone would do a little box set on them with everything that they ever did, because their discography is not that big. They had basically 3 albums. One of the album had a lot of repeats, and then they did a couple of early singles, and then after they got off Redbird, they did a couple of singles for another label. I can't remember who it was now, Columbia, but I don't think that was it. And they did a couple of singles into 1967, and I think they broke up late 67, early 68. But so you're not talking about a lot of songs, and so I wish someone would do a box set on them of everything that they ever did, and if there's any alternate versions or unreleased tracks or live tracks. I've gone to YouTube and listened to a couple of their live videos, and they're really cool. Mary Weiss, my favorite female singer of all time. I know that, there's people that are technically better, Aretha Franklin, and could go Nina Simone, could go on, and I love them too, but she's just got it for me, and she's difficult to look at either. Of course, there's that, but I mean, just her voice is great, and the emotion in it, and the songs, and I mean, at their best, the Shangri-Las are as good as almost anybody in the '60s or ever for me. So they really don't have any bad songs that I've ever heard, and so this is a good one. I just wanted to get this because I wanted to have Shangri-Las on vinyl, and Norton Records has all three of their albums on vinyl, and I was going to hope to get the other ones eventually, or the other two, but I'm not so sure I want to do that now. I'd still like to get them on vinyl, but in addition to taking 23 days or whatever it was to mail the record to me, I don't know how well you can see that there, but it's pretty banged up right there. It's same there. So I mean, it wasn't in great shape as far as the cover. It was kind of banged around. It didn't cost much. I think this was just like $10 or something, but still, it was banged around. And to wait that long and to order something brand new, I would have preferred it to been in a little bit better shape. The record's fine. I played the record a couple of times. It sounds great, so I don't have a problem with that. But it's just the cover being pretty banged up. And there's the record. It's the old Redbird label. That's one of my favorite labels. That's a neat. They had Redbird and they had Blue Cat. And I wish that's another thing someone should do a box set of on vinyl is all the Redbird 45s and Blue Cat 45s, because I think there's altogether, the label wasn't around that long. It was around for like 3 or 4 years, and I think there's probably like, I don't know, 40 or 50 releases. I saw somewhere on the web, I looked it up once, it had all their releases of their 45s, and they were mainly a 45 label, even though they did have albums. They had the Shangri-Las and the Dixie Cups, a lot of girl groups, some other stuff like that, but and they had, I want to say, like 40 or so 45s that they released, and probably 10 or 12 albums. So it wouldn't be, it'd be neat if they repressed all those and did a complete run of the 45s and then redid the albums. So the funny thing about this, and like I said, Norton has a couple of, or they have the 3 Shangri-Las albums. The label on side 1 mirrors the track listing on the album, and everything on the label is the actual song. The label on side 2, with the exception of the second song, Maybe, is completely different from the track listing on the album, because they've got on here on side 2 Twist and Shout, Maybe, which is on there, So Much in Love, Shout, Good Night My Love, Pleasant Dreams, and You Can't Sit Down. None of those songs are on this album except for Maybe. So, and the listing they have here is the correct listing, which is I Can Never Go Home Anymore, Maybe, He Cried, Give Us Your Blessing, Dressed in Black, and Past, Present, and Future. That's what's actually. So I don't know if the second album, maybe they accidentally got the label from the second album on this record at the pressing plant. So that's kind of strange, but I don't know. But I really would like to get the second album. The third album, like I said, is basically the second album with a couple of extra songs on it, and a couple of songs dropped from the second album. I wouldn't mind getting the third one, but I'd like to get the second one. Not that I don't already have all that stuff on CD, but it'd just be kind of neat to have the album covers. But given the experience with Norton, I don't know that I'll be going back and ordering from them anymore. I don't know, maybe someone else on here's ordered from them and had a great experience, but I wasn't too jazzed with their service. So, but the music's great. I mean, and I played that a couple of times just to listen to it, and Shangri-Las are just, the only thing wrong with the Shangri-Las is that they didn't stick around and make more music. And they never did a Christmas song, which is kind of odd. That's a shame too. But that's all I got for tonight. So go with the Bob Cup, Robert, and hope everyone has a good weekend. And it's good to see people back on the VC making videos, because it seemed like for maybe August was just too hot, summertime and everything. But seemed like the traffic had slowed down a lot on the VC, and a lot of the uh, people were not making very many videos there. And there's still a few that I like to watch regularly who have not made a video in a while. And I mean, I'm just, make them or not, that's their own affair and business. But it's good to see Sun Dodger and Mr. Mayo's made a couple. Of course, Robert and Steffi Vaughn and Derek been making them. But anyway, looks like it's kind of picking up again, because it's slowed down for a while. I know I haven't made anything in a while, but so hoping that stays, because I like to watch you all's videos, and I thank everyone who watches mine and subscribes. Hope you all have a good Sunday night, and we'll talk to you later.